I'm not going to do a video this week. I don't feel like it. Because I don't. I really don't. And also, I was playing Final Fantasy X2. 10-2, really. X2, but it's 10-2. Final Fantasy 10-2. Which is quite a fun game. And I was just about to fight a boss. And then I suddenly looked up and thought, maybe I just will do. I'll pause it because I know I'm probably going to not do very well in this boss battle. So let's just do a video instead. Because, why not? I'm just here because, that's really the only reason for it. That's the only reason for anything, isn't it? Yeah. And nobody's here. So that's not really that surprising anyway. But hello anyway. So what I'll probably do is, hello one person, is I'll probably just stay here for a little while and then I'll finish off the boss battle and then I'll go, oh no, I didn't do very well at that. It's quite a good game. It's an old game, but it's a sort of, I think it's a remastered version. I really am only in it because there's chocobos, yeah. This is a really, it's an existential angst. This is what it is. It's just, really, what's the point of anything? Let's just party. Let's not, though, because of the sort of thing that's happening at the moment. You don't party. You don't party without getting in horrible trouble. And if you're a government person, you just don't care. And then you just blame it on somebody else because you're a big dog. That's what happens. Yeah, it's a very existential. I'm not having a hello. I'm just in a mood. I'm usually trying to be happy, jolly, sort of ray of light in a dark world, but it's not really working, let's be honest. I think you can all see through the facade, the sort of the facade of hey, everything's amazing, when it's not. But we have to keep on pretending, keep on being, don't we? So yeah, it's one of those weeks, really. Hello there. Yes, it's one of those weeks where I'm just like, what's the point? Yeah, I know. I'm very good at manifesting the tone of positivity. Yay! I'm so positive in a good way. Yeah, but it's a facade, isn't it? It's all a facade. Yeah. So the content-wise, it's very depressing and gloomy, but I maintain the sunny smile. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. That suddenly got a flashback. When I was a kid, there was a Jane Asher drama where she was a ballet dancer and she got manipulated by a rich man and whose mother told him that something happened, like his mother had been embarrassed by her husband, and she told her son to take revenge on that sort of woman, and it was like, it was called Sunny Smile or something, and then she was working in a health spa, and she was all like, hello, and she was all happy and smiley and just a wreck of a person, but so happy that it was annoying everybody, and everyone thought, what a pathetic, terrible waste of a person. That's me. No, just so on the edge. Yeah, so my mum and dad phoned earlier on, or they messaged me with Facebook Messenger, and they were like, are you all right? And I was like, yeah, no. Yeah, it's all getting a bit much for everyone, really, isn't it? I'm just feeling like, what's happening? Don't know. Good grief. Oh, I don't know. That is dark. It was dark. I'm young. I don't know. It's just, it was one of, they used to have play for the day, play for today, that's the thing. They used to just have lots of different things on, just plays, and they don't do that anymore. They used to have, the BBC's lost a lot of its funding, so we probably won't have that sort of thing ever again. But they used to have lots of nice plays that they would just have one-off things, and some of them were very dark, to be honest, but they were all entertaining in various different ways. We shall never see the like again, probably just as well because it was gloomy. Yeah. This just also flashed me back to, I don't know whether you've ever seen the public information film Apaches, which, yes, I couldn't find that for ages. I saw that when I was about 4. I was staying home from school and it was on, and it's basically, it's terrible. It's all these terrible ways that children can have accidents at home. But I think it was made by the same person that made The Long Good Friday. Yeah, and I couldn't find it for ages, but Robert Sherman gave me a videotape of it, or a CD of it that he'd found, so I hadn't seen it. Robert Sherman, there's name dropping for you. You're like, who's that? But if you know, you know. Yeah, he wrote Dalek, the episode Dalek of Doctor Who, and I haven't seen him for years, but he did give me a version. He gave me the DVD of Apaches, and I rewatched it as an adult, and it's more disturbing than I think I remembered it being when I was a tiny child. Very, very disturbing. If you can search that out, I think it might be on YouTube or something like that, but it's just like, as you can imagine, the sort of terrible accidents happening to people, aimed for, I mean, it was on in the daytime. I don't think it's necessarily aimed at children, just to give you the warning that these are things that you should be careful about, you know, leaving things around, and you know, playing in unsafe environments. It's very much coloured my experience of life, in that I saw a children's playground where there was a pile of tyres piled up, and this is like for 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and pieces of wood sticking out of them, and all sorts of big spiky rocks, and I'm like, oh, that's not right, that's health and safety disasters. And an adult said, oh no, children have to explore and play. And I'm thinking, but yeah, and then watching this public information film, watching a lot of public information films from my youth, I'm very aware of the terrible dangers that can happen. Hello, from Abertillery, yes, hello Terry, yes. Yeah, it's scary. So, you know, the sunny disposition is because I've seen the horrors of life through public information films of the 70s, 80s and 90s, which is just the old things. You've seen them and they come back to haunt you. If you've seen them on YouTube, you've seen them. They're very scary indeed. There's Charlie Said, that was one that just, you know, very, very bad. Popular 500, oh, yeah. I think that the doom. I think maybe you're supposed to, as you experience life, be more like, if things happen and do things. But I'm more cautious every day. My ankle is getting better, by the way. But I mean, I fell off a pavement that high, and it's probably 13 or 14 weeks later, and it's only just today I've left the strappy thing that I had on my ankle off, and it's not too bad. So it's the first day that it's like, but I mean, it might come back, yeah. But yeah, clunk click every trip, and always remember the Green Cross code. Clunk click every trip. Of course, Jimmy Savile. Other problems involved with that. So the people that they chose to give the public information films even were maybe not the best, safest people to trust with lives of other people. Really, yeah. So anyway, this whole rant came from the defunding of the BBC, and I'm talking about Sunny Smiles. Yes, ha ha ha. Yeah, all of it's, you know, the dread of life, you know. So I don't know. My ankle's getting better, so maybe falling off a pavement and twisting around in the end, many weeks later, isn't too bad. No, you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to. So that's it. That's all. I didn't actually as well, because it was like everyone was like, oh, go check it out. Go check out to see whether your ankle's, you know, go to the emergency room. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to go there. I think I'll be on my own. I'll sort it out in my own time. So yeah, like I've had like a bad tooth for getting on 2 years. Just before the pandemic, it started to hurt. The gum is horribly, you know, and it was all right. It's come and gone. But this weekend, it suddenly went, like, just before this weekend, I was just like, I was like, something has to be done about it. But then I just sort of massaged my, and I thought, you know, it's probably too late. I probably got a brain worm now or something. It's probably, you know, yeah, exactly. So I'll take my chances. Yeah, it's like they found mummies and things that have died from toothache. So probably not a good idea to take your chances. But, you know, I put loads of igloo on it, and it's fine. It's like, and I think I've got a wisdom tooth coming through. This is it. I was looking, when do wisdom teeth come through? Mine started coming through when I was 19, but they're still going. It's like I still haven't got enough wisdom. Every now and then they're just like, no, a little bit more, because they were sort of stuck in. And they're like, a little bit more. It's come out a little bit more. Poking up above the, and I think that's what set off the whole thing. To be honest, it's just one of those things. And I don't want to, I very rarely go to the doctors, because when I do go to the doctors, they say, well, there can't be anything much wrong with you. You haven't gone for ages. You haven't come here for ages. If it was really a problem, you would have seen us earlier. And I'm like, no, that's not the reason. It's because every time I do, you say, well, it's probably nothing. Oh, why didn't you? Oh, well, obviously it's not much. Otherwise you'd have come to us sooner. It's like, no, it's because I've waited this long, and I can't wait any longer, and now it's so bad that I have to come to you. It's like, well, it can't be that bad. It's like, but it is. But I'm still alive at this moment while you're watching this video. Who knows, or can tell when in the future. Obviously in 100 years time, probably not, but it's probably, who knows what's going to happen with videos that are on YouTube. They'll last forever. You'll be looking at them in the future. And which reminds me of something else that I've been watching, Archive 81 on Netflix. I've seen the first 3 episodes, and the last one I got what was probably a jump scare, but there was something that happened, and I was just sort of like casually sitting there, and I got sort of chill in my legs when something happened. Like, I was just sitting there casually, like, seemingly no reaction to this, but my legs were like just a tiny bit of the upper thighs. It was just like chills, like, and so my legs were scared, but the rest of me remained passive and unresponsive. So bits of me are reacting to things, and the other bits of me are just like, what can you do? Whatever. Anyway, I recommend that. It's a good thing to see. I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but but Ollie has listened to the podcast on which it is based, and he said that it gets very weird. That's not a spoiler, because I don't know whether it gets really weird. I just know what I've been told, so I don't know whether, or maybe that is a spoiler. Anyway, it gets really, when you say anything about anything, it's sort of a spoiler. Like, for instance, cast lists and stuff like that. There was something, I can't remember what, something that was on recently. Oh, yeah. Casting. Knowing the casting of some things makes you go, oh, well, I know what's going to happen. Like, or somebody saying, oh, this person plays this person. And you're like, oh, well, no, I know exactly what's going to happen. So I won't even tell you what that refers to, because it might be a spoiler for watching that thing. And so that's very obscure. So I've spoiled everything, because you'll be looking out for the twist, which is how spoilers work, really. Looking out for the twist. Yeah, I'm looking at my foot, and it's gone very red, so maybe it's not 100%. Well, maybe it's because I've just been, I don't know what's happening or what is going to happen. I'm still very worried about everything, and I'm not really willing to go anywhere or do anything or, outside what I'm already doing, which, to be honest, I don't think is very safe. What I am doing probably isn't 100% effective in keeping people safe, but it's still what I'm doing. So yeah, again, that's a bit obscure. And what are you talking about? It's just like, I'm just like thinking I'm the only person so far that I know that has remained relatively healthy. And my dad said, oh, don't say that. You're going to curse fate and tempt fate. And it's like, I don't believe in any of that stuff. If it happens, it happens, whatever. But but I do worry. I'm very worried about everything. So I'm probably not going to do very much more talking at you now, because I'm just like, dead behind the eyes probably. Oh gosh, what is life? What is this life so full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. Yes, that's a Welsh poet, I think, isn't it? William, that guy. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I think they did a statue of him in Cardiff or Newport. He just looked like he had a bag on his head. What is his name? Davis. William H. Davis? Might not be. Oh, that's terrible. Where are you? Culturally, what? Culturally, that's terrible. But no, I think it was William W.H. Davis or somebody like that. It was a poet who was Welsh that said some stuff, and that's probably not him, not even a quote from him. Anyway, that particular poet, who I can't remember now, there was definitely a very bad statue that looked like he had a bag on his head, and everyone was like, what on earth is that? I don't know whether the statue's still there. Of the statues that have been pulled down recently, he's not somebody you should pull the statue down, but the actual statue is, it's debatably, it's an interesting statue. There's a lot of interesting statues around, aren't there? Like, I remember in Cwmbran, which when I was a small child, there was this big sort of weird white blobby statue in the middle of Cwmbran Newtown. It was just sort of, it was just a big blob, and I think it was entitled Mother and Child or something, and it was very strange. And it disappeared fairly recently, and I wondered where it is. And it turns out that it had been moved to the outside of an art centre called Llantarnam Grange, and they've coloured it, they've painted it, so it's not so stark and strange looking. It's just like a black, like glossy black blob rather than a white weird shiny blob. But I mean, I think it's got the same title, so it looks less rubbish is, it's a very subjective thing. It looks less scary and freaky now, but it's still like, oh yeah, there's that statue. So it's still there, but it's not quite as freaky as it was. I don't know who designed it, but it was. But the public art, you know, people put the public art out, and then the public go, what? And then it gets moved. And that's fair enough. And that's fair enough. Like that whole statue getting pulled into the dock in Bristol, that's fair enough. The people of Bristol decided, we don't want that statue, and they were found in a court of law to be like, yeah, fair enough. And then the government decided that no, they shouldn't have put that statue on. We're going to fight it. It's like, don't fight it. It was a terrible statue of a terrible person, and it's best off out of there, really. But, you know, I don't really condone getting rid of, I don't really generally condone destroying art, but that wasn't art. Let's be honest, it wasn't. And it was horrible, and it was triggering for a lot of people. So there you go. I mean, art is subjective, but that wasn't even, I mean, it was a late Victorian, and it was just, anyway, yeah, but generally, art, but is art sacred? You know, some of it is important. Art is your life. Life is art. Yes, exactly. Oh, snow. I didn't see that quote. Yes, snow is exciting. Oh, dearie me. Art. Yeah, like, there's a lot of art that you're just like, all right, it doesn't say anything to me, but it says something to somebody, so that's all right. And there's other art that you just go, that's really funny. Is it supposed to be funny? And then the artist goes, no, it's supposed to be serious. And you're like, yeah, no, it's supposed to be funny. If that's not supposed to be funny, you're telling me lies. This is supposed to be funny, otherwise what's the point in it? And there's other art that you're like, oh, it's so majestical and beautiful. It's majestical, the word. Majestic and beautiful and amazing. You just go, and you just look at it, and you're just like, oh, I am at one with the universe. And then somebody else sees it and goes, but it's a bucket with a mop in it. But it's all in the mind. Once you've made the art, it's the viewer that decides what it is. Anyway, this video is brought to you by the power of everything in the universe being amazing. Yay. So, that's very Sesame Street in a way. Sesame Street. I like Sesame Street. I'm trying to sell it to the kids of today. They're like, no, we're too old. It's like, you're only 7. It's like, no, we're too old for Sesame Street. No, you're never too old for Sesame Street. My grandmother used to love Sesame Street. Where you walk? What did you say? Where you walk? I don't know. That disappeared before I saw it. It's because I'm on a tiny little mobile device, and so I can't see. It just goes. All chat, live chat, all that. Oh, there you go. Beach walks. Oh, yes. Watch beach walks. I've got beach walks. Have you watched my beach walk on Portobello Beach and Barry Island Beach and probably that's all. I don't know whether there's. I did have one on which I did with Anna Black years ago. We did a video on Southend Beach, but I don't know what the footage. I think she had the footage and I never got to edit it, so who knows what happened to that. I do remember we made the end out of pebbles and it got washed away by the tide, and it was very artistic and very great, but we never put it up. It's lost in the mists of time. Anyway, I think I'm going to go now. I know it's about 10 minutes shorter than my usual oeuvre. That's an artistic term. Oeuvre. My artistic joy. This is art. I'm so arty. I don't even know what accent that was. It is what it is. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, bye. Oh no, that's not very good news. Oh, that's on Carol Spinney. Yeah, I did hear about that. Anyway, I'm going now. Stay well to you as well. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. And oh, by the way, I started a membership for my channel, which I think is like Patreon only for YouTube. And basically because there's some videos that have been like downgraded by YouTube and I didn't want to get rid of them, so I've just put them there. So it's like, I don't even know what this whole thing involves, but it's there. I don't really know what to do with it, but it's there. All right, you two have a great rest of January. I think I'm going to be back before the end of January, probably with more mystery boxes. Somebody said, but it's not mystery. It's like, it's a mystery. If I don't know what's in it, it's a mystery. Anyway, as I said, I'm going now. Okay, bye-bye.